Hello, my beautiful mimosas. Welcome to today's alchemical share. Is actually a list of prayers, a list of invocations based on the sacred mystical truths. I actually am supposed to be recording a live right now, a YouTube live, and I couldn't figure it out. And today's been one of those mornings when like a lot of things are happening. This happens to me, this has happened to me throughout my whole life, I have to say, that not every time, but sometimes where I'm making major leaps or I'm doing something new or I'm giving to myself in a new way, I am growing into the new me and say, this is what I'm doing, my team. And so I noticed a lot of extra things that I needed to do this morning that just came, they come to your schedule. And I saw the part of me that was just I just don't want to do the live. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to do something else. And so much so that I sat down and I saw those spots behind me that I've seen before. And my mind immediately went to go clean them. Go clean them. That's my South Node in Virgo talking. And my ass just knew, Jimena, sit your ass down. Don't do one more thing. So before we even begin, just notice the nuances, the nudges that actually happen in real life human time, in our bodies, in our minds, in our thought, in all of it, it is very comical. So my beauties, if I figure out, if anybody knows how to do lives or has done lives, let me know. I did give it a try, and anyways, that's another conversation. So I'm just gonna do it here. And if you would like to share what is happening in your life, if there's a thread, if you notice that there's a theme in one of these prayers that you're living through right now, then share with us. If something externally is happening, because many times we live in the 3D realm of the stories of this is happening with this person, this happened to me, etc., etc., and we can't quite see the mystical teaching underneath it. So if you want to tell me the story and you'd like for me to share with you which one of the mystical teachings I feel is inviting you to be more intimate with it, let me know. I actually want to begin and I want to share this. My dearest and closest soul sister in this whole lifetime of mine, I've shared a little bit about our story and how we weaved in and out and in again together. And she had a dream, and I've yet to answer her back because it moved a lot. But she had a dream where I died consciously, and she was there, but she was not there in the very moment that I died, but she was there kind of hosting me and sitting with me and being my midwife. And it didn't surprise me. My mind was going through so many things when I heard her share back the dream. But in her seeing, and it was it was the most gorgeous dream I have ever seen, and it wasn't even my dream, but in her sharing it, I literally could see and feel it all. And while she was sharing, I was actually internally in my mind screaming out, I'm not ready to die yet. I'm not ready to die yet. And I'm ready to be here, to live, to do my work, to share. I'm actually here more than I ever have been. And I remember the times for many, many years, and it was one of my whole life teachings actually was to want to be here. Because when we go through these soul's rites of passage, where we go deeper and deeper inside, remembering this, I think if one of the most important one of, if not the most important job that we have in this lifetime is actually to remember. It's to remember who we truly are, to remember our essence, to tap into and feel the love of our soul, the love of God, the love, to feel that we are loved and that we are remembered in love, is our greatest, it is our greatest job. More than any job titles that we have is that. And I do have to say that many of those moments in which I was remembering that love towards myself and towards my life and towards my soul contract, my best friend was there in those years where I was going deeply internally and self-reckoning, and recognizing where I truly was. Because we can be here in the 3D world, realm. I, for example, a yoga teacher, a mentor back then, a mom, like a wife, like all these roles. But deep down inside, I knew there was something more. There was something lacking. And yes, in tropical astrology, my rising sign is Sagittarius. And in sidereal Vedic, it's Scorpio. So like I'm made to travel through the realms of spirituality, to go towards far and wide mystically, but also down and deep and dark because of the Scorpio. But all of this story is to share that the mystical truth or the mystical teaching, so you all can have a taste of what it looks like in your everyday life. Mine was that we live in a divine daily paradox where everything has its opposite. And I am not an expert in non-duality or duality, non-duality. I live and experience it more through the elements, the cycles, and for me, it does feel in my human body, although I know that we are one and transcendent, and I know that at the same time, I have had to work this whole lifetime in understanding that we do live in this paradox of light and shadow, and that death does feed life. Death is part of this whole experience. And for me, very tangibly, and just like for you all to know more intimately, for me, it was a struggle because in my mind, I was mightier and bigger and better than my husband, than my family, than people around me. But I was acting in quite the opposite. I was not acting out of love. I was not acting from forgiveness, from compassion, from acceptance. All the things that I was preaching, there was many, many layers in which I really wasn't embodied in them. And so that has been like, do I want to be here in this realm? It doesn't feel safe. And at the same time, I had to go through many deaths of recognizing how I had to die, how those parts and those pieces. So that dream that my dear soul sister had of me, it was so prophetic in the sense that that is actually the rebirth that I'm going through. Not of dying in this physical form, but there has been a huge death of an identity, which is my motherhood role, in which I do feel like from maiden to mother, like I am entering my elder season. And the death of the mother who you thought you were to your, not only to yourself, but to your children. My eldest literally flies the coop in 1-2 days. My other two are starting a new live school. So it's literally all happening at the same time. So not only is one child flying the coop, and that's how I roll, like just do it all, just do it all. So energetically speaking, there's a huge depth of the role of that I've played. And the role that I've played in relationship to clients, like so how I've mothered, how I've given, all of that I feel like is completely changing and has been for many years. But I really feel like the last remnants in these last couple of weeks. And what was I going to say? Oh, and to share a little bit of numerology, and I weave in and out from these videos, numerology, astrology, human design, the archetypes, obviously my mystical channelings. But what I want to share is, and what I want to teach us is to see life as sacred, to see it through the mystical lens. And my daughter, my eldest daughter, is 18, but literally, remember I had her in womb 10 months more than that. So technically she's almost 19, which is actually in numerology a 1, which is the rebirth. And 18, if we look at it, you know, as of right now, she is a 9. And my year in numerology this year is actually a number 9. Collectively, we're a 1, but I'm a number 9. So I'm still energetically closing and ending. So what I'm reminding you is that, and I've shared this before, is that we're living many different cycles and seasons, and that's also included in that mystical teaching of the divine daily paradox, where we're actually living so many different cycles and seasons in different areas of our life simultaneously. They're all being woven in together. So can we allow just a couple of breaths to just like let the pressure, like let pressure out as you exhale. And as you inhale, notice as if like thread is being woven around you or within you, however you visualize it and see it. And notice how some threads are longer, and that's like a number 9. And some is like really coming in and in different areas of our life. Like it's all woven together. It's not a separate entity, each one. They're all wholly one. And so can we just take a couple of moments and recognize that we are multidimensional, beautiful, magical, mystical beings living in this mundane reality, and all of it can coexist, all at the same time. So just take a couple of minutes. And the exhales are more for just like letting go of the pressure, for it to be different, for you to compare yourself to someone else, for you to try to fix it or make it quicker or solve it. And just allow it all to be as it naturally is. And notice how your beautiful body lives the same mirroring. So for example, you might be feeling very like in your heart, like in your vitality or in your fire element, you might be feeling very vitally alive and you have a lot of energy, but maybe in your digestion you're not, or maybe in your moods, or maybe in your sleep. Like just notice in your physical being, or you have a certain pain, a recurring pain, or skin ailments or something. Notice that at the same time, your beautiful being, your beautiful heart, your beautiful whole self is actually still one integrated, beautiful set of many things that are all coexisting and living together. So taking a couple of deep exhales. And a couple of deep inhales. So, my dears, here we go. Here are the set of prayers. I am going to allow these prayers just to come through, but when I wrote them down, I kind of wrote them down with a visual of the mystical teaching prayers. I'm sure I'm missing one or many other ones. There's many more for sure. But I tried to visualize it from the ground up, like from our chakra system, from our energetic system, from like the earth as well, upward. So here and there, everywhere. God may I remember that I am always being held and supported by you, by the earth, by beings that are here to give to me at any moment. May I be open to receive this support. Regardless and understanding that my body might feel closed in resonance to receiving because of something in the past or many things in the past, in this lifetime or in past lifetimes, may I, with each breath, allow myself to possibly feel a little bit more supported. Or maybe I need to get to that edge, to that end of the road, as they say, where I actually have to surrender and feel your support for the greatest, for the first time, God, and in my body again, where my cells remember that they are being supported, that it is safe to be me. May I remember God. May I remember in my own beautiful body. And if you'd like hug yourself or touch yourself or like hold your face, or if you feel like lying down, lie down. May I remember that we are the co-creatrixes of our own reality. I, in conjunction, in communion with life, are co-creating my reality. No, some people are living in this way, but in my way, I can, in this very moment, I can choose differently. I can choose to feel differently. And in moments of deep winter or in fall seasons, my body actually might be going through, I cannot feel any light, I cannot feel any love. And allow yourself to be in a winter season and give yourself the support that you need, of course. But in essence, the sacred mystical truth of our womb space, of our second chakra, orange color, is that we are co-creatrixes. We are the birthers. We are the rebirthers. We are the ones who receive and birth life, desires, visions. We are the ones who grow and receive them. And so may I take a couple of moments to recognize that is my responsibility. It is my sacred duty. I should be devoted to the holy knowing that my body is capable. My body is capable of being the co-creatrix of change. Just like when you create a baby is created by itself. It is changing. It is metamorphosizing. It is literally transforming again and again. so I can also change and be in relationship with change. May I remember that we are being guided by essence, by our essence and not our ego. May I remember to be gentle and laugh with myself when it is my ego and it's not my essence. May I just allow myself to remember time and time again that when I am in essence, I can experience ecstasy in the moment. When I am in my ego, I want the encounter to be experienced a certain way. God, may I remember that we are living in a divine daily paradox. So as we move this energy up our body, so like the solar plexus, the belly button area, that I actually also have the ability to choose in this moment what is a yes and what is a no. I can feel the sacred boundary that is rising within me, and I can share it without having to punch bag other people or push my way onto other people with my specific boundaries. May I remember that it is okay to live in confidence and in my sacred power, in knowing that there is the divine daily paradox. I don't have to get fully lost in one or the other, in light and only light, and in shadow or only shadow. May I remember to bring back this power inside of myself, and rather than just keep my focus and my thoughts towards what another person is doing that is wrong or right, or that I want to change, may I remember to just live in the flow of this paradox that is as is on this wild earth. God, may I remember that we are living below here as above. So as above, so below. As above, so below. May my heart remember that I can be the transmuter, that I can hold myself in tenderness as I hold others in tenderness. God, there are moments where I just need to surrender and say, may you hold my tender heart. May you transform and alchemize that I cannot. May I surrender it. God, may I remember that that we are living, I jumped one, that we are living in gratitude and joy. I think I'm gonna put them together. That we are experiencing the divine. So the divine, or the experience of light, of magic, of the mystical, is something that we experience within ourselves. It's not something that can be taught to us. It's not something that we can actually, quote unquote, do. It is an experience that is lived, that is embodied. That is where that term comes in. So God, may I remember to allow the mystical to come through my being. May I allow myself to ask the deeper questions of why something is happening. Not to actually get a brain like the fix, like I gotta fix, I have to fix, or my thoughts have to understand. But there's something that's wanting to be experienced through this teaching that I am living. And through that, may I remember to live in the gratitude and the joy that I am still alive, that it is a blessing and a miracle to be in this form, And that the more that I allow the gratitude for both sides, what I can quote unquote understand and what I cannot understand, and live in the joy of the messiness, then the magical can be shown to me. May I remember that we are all interconnected. And so when I think that I am living something by myself, may I remember that there is another person that is living something in their own similar way, in their own unique way, but in a similar thread, they're experiencing the same. So we are interconnected. We are all one. We are not only all one, but we have all that we need inside of us. May I remember anytime where I push someone away, where I push a teaching away, where I say, no, I am better than, I am better than that, etc., etc. May I remember that that is the mystical teaching that I need to see, that my third eye, that the greater mandala of my life is trying to teach me. And may I remember, God, that I am here to remember. I am here to remember and receive these sacred knowings that live inside of me. I am here for that. I choose that. I choose that through every relationship that is in my life. I choose it. I choose it. I choose it. Every single relationship. Amen. My beautiful mimosas. If you need to pause, you can pause here. If you need kind of like a little pause before hearing my voice, go ahead and pause. If one of those touched you, or you know that that is what you're tending, share it with us. If you want to share a little bit of what's happening in your life, you can. And if you want me to share which mystical truth it could be touching underneath, like the transformation is wanting to be had inside of you. And that's why that is arising in your life. Because your soul is like, oh, that's your soul curriculum. And my beauties, if you want to learn more about your own inner soul curriculum, your own inner soul gifts, your own soul mandala, I'd love to support you with my one-on-one sessions, Soul Speak session. You can find more information at jimenamosquera.com. Sending you so much love. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Mwah.